Look at this. Hello there, I'm Roger from the Rogers Relics Forum. Thanks for buying the DVD. Now we're just going to have a look at the XP Deus, you know, the machine we're going to use throughout the DVD. Now the Deus is the only machine that is completely cordless, you know, cordless coil, cordless headphones. This is the shaft, as you can see, collapses. You know, you can put it in a bag and away you go. I'm not over keen on this particular shaft. For instance, the magnet is not strong enough. People have lost the control off the magnet because it's not strong enough. And if you can imagine, after a day's detecting, you know, soil, grit on here, and you collapse it, it's going to make a hell of a mess on the stem. This one's never been used, so it's still, you know, pretty good looking. Now, the second part, this would be the control box on an ordinary detector, but this one is about the size of a mobile phone, as you can see. All the settings and everything on this. And the headphones, these are back phones. Now I have known people break these by putting them on, you know, incorrectly. For instance, I'm trying to put it over the top of the head this way, but they're called back phones because they come on to your ears from the back, like so. Well, you don't even know you got them on there. Very light. They do look flimsy, but you know, I can't really fault them. They're bringing out some full cup ones, you know, within the next few months. So if you'd rather have the full cup, then you'll get the chance to use them. You'll get a little container to carry those phones about. Now, I'll just mention these. These are corded XP phones. Now I carry these just in case the cordless break down or battery goes flat or something like that. These just plug into the control. I'll just show you here. That's the small pin one. Into the control, like so. You can put that in your pocket and you can wear these. So if your cordless went wrong, you can still carry on detecting. Right, that's that. Now this is the stem I use on all my detectors if I can convert them. It's a MXT, White's MXT shaft. They are the same on the XLT and the DFX. Now this is the 9-inch cordless coil, as you can see. Now the charging points are there. You can see the two charging points there, and if you look on the coil cover, you can see two guides, one narrow guide, one large guide. That is for the charging clip. I will just show you how that goes on. Now, you've got to be very careful here. You've got the one wide lug and the narrow lug, and when you put it on, you want to make sure, you just, if I can get this, it's dead straight, and then just push straight on like that. Now whatever you do once it's on, don't wiggle it about, because the pins will break very, very easily. You know, if you can't get it on first time, pull it back off and try again, but straight and clip it on. And the two little pins in there, as you can see, they're not very substantial and easily damaged, so that really must go straight. Right, now this particular shaft, as I said, is the white shaft. Now Nick from the Relics Forum, he made me two extra strong magnets. Now I don't know if you can come in again and just have a look at this. Nick, probably better known on the forum as Blank Reverse, he made two. I've got two shafts like this, one for the large coil, one for the 9-inch. And as you can see here, the control clips and locks in position. Much stronger than the magnet on the original XP shaft. Right, now because the coil is cordless, you know, the original shaft collapses as we said there, but if you think about it, you unlock this collar and that one, you can break this into 3 pieces and put that in a bag for carrying about. So, you know, you don't lose anything by using the white shaft, and it's very, very solid. This one looks a little bit plasticky. I mean, for instance, if you wanted to replace this, that would cost you 160 quid. If you want to replace this, I mean, this top handle shaft and the centre shaft are the whites. The bottom one is the Goldie Power bottom shaft. Now I suppose £50–60 would buy you this lot, so that's half the price of the original shaft. Right, now I think while I got this coil in my hand, we'll just show you how we charge everything up. You know, not everyone has seen this being charged. Put the clip on, as we said before, like so. Now this could be a bit awkward here, but right. Now we plug in, we have a charger. This plugs into the bottom of the charger, and we have 3 outlets. One for the coil, which plugs into this charging clip there. Now the control, again, just uncover the rubber cover and plugs in there. And lastly, the headphones, again, just hold the rubber cover back, and the third one goes in there. So you got your 3 coil, your control and your headphones all charging at the same time. While the coil is charging, the light, the LED light there, will stay on permanently. When it starts flashing, that is charged. And on here you'll have a battery indicator to tell you when they're charged anyway. Same on the phones. So that's that. Get that out of the way. Now, if you run out of power in the field on any of your little gadgets, we've got 2 more chargers here. This is an in-car charger. Plug into the cigarette light socket, and then you can plug your lead into that. Now this is an emergency charger. All you do is take the end off, pop an AA battery in there, and you then put your clip on the coil, and this plugs into the clip. You can charge your coil up while you're having your sarnies or your flask of tea, you know, or I know some people who put an extension lead on here. They take this to the shaft, leave the clip on, and it's actually charging while you carry on detecting. I mean, that'll give you another couple hours detecting if your coil goes flat. So that's that. Now the control, there are fancy covers you can put on this, you know, to protect it. A lot of them have a plastic window, which you'll find it hard to press the keys with that. So what I use are these 5x3 plastic bags, which we pop the control in. I've got one I've done earlier. There it is. Make sure the seal is at the bottom. If the seal does accidentally come undone, then at least the water and soil won't get in. And you can change that every couple of opens, you know. I mean, you can buy these bags by the 100 on eBay, cheap as chips. Nice cheap way of keeping everything clean, moisture out, that type of thing. Right, that's that. Oh, by the way, we've got this leather, real quality piece of kit, this leather pouch. This fits on the belt, like so, and drop it down, you can then adjust. But then again, that's got a thick plastic see-through cover, which makes it fairly hard to press the buttons. You know, that pops in the top there, like so, goes in there. I don't usually use that. I just put the control in my pocket, out of the way. Because the other thing is, you know, if it rains, you can put this in your pocket. With a plastic bag on, you don't really have to bother. But I would, if it rained, I'd put that in the pocket, and I'd have a wide brim waterproof hat, which would cover the phone, stop water going in the phones. Right, that's that. Next, this is the 9-inch stock coil, by the way. Brilliant little coil. I also do the 11x13 large coil, all the same principle. Flash and LED and charging points. Now, as you can see here, the mounting bracket is not in the centre, so you've got the weight forward. Now, a chap called Swarfy on the Radix forum, he made up this block. Now what happens is you can bolt that in there, it's where the stem usually goes, which moves the balance point to the centre, like that. The only problem I found with this is that, I don't know whether I'm a short arse or got long arms, but this raises the point, as you can see, from there to there, where the stem goes in. So I tried to shorten my shaft here, and I haven't really got enough adjustment on this. So as I say, I don't know whether I've got long arms or what it is, but that does cause me a problem. The one thing I hate, and I hate it on a lot of machines, is these little bolts which hold the coil. Absolutely useless. I even tried this little gizmo here, the top hat gizmo, you know, to hold the coil steady, but I've resisted the temptation of drilling out, you know, the coil lugs at the bottom stem and putting the whites in like I did on the Goldie Power. But I don't know why they make them like that. Some say they make them thin so they'll break rather than break the lugs. Well, if you've got the bottom stem in properly with the washers, you know, you can tighten this as much as you like. The lugs come against the bottom of the stem and there's no way they're going to shear off. But I may sometime in future drill that out and put the white bolts in. Now, I don't know whether I mentioned this, but the control is updatable. Plug it into your computer when there's an update. You can update your control. It's nearly like having a new machine. Now, when the Deus first came out, a lot of us thought that was expensive. You know, around the 1400. You could get it for around 1200 if you shopped around. But since the new MindLab machine came out, around the 1900 pound mark, I think the Deus is now the bargain, the biggest bargain on the market. You know, it's got everything you need. The settings on the control are just the vital settings. You ain't got loads of bells and whistles, you know, coloured screens, all this kind of thing, cursors leaping everywhere. That won't help you get those finds out of the ground, you know. Christ, when we're trying to get a few coins and artifacts out of the ground, you know, we don't need rocket science to do that. But this has just got the right amount of settings and perfect for the job. You know, it seems strange a Frenchman had to design this rather than Englishman, because it is perfect for the English conditions. You'd thought that would have been someone like C-Scoop, someone like that who'd have designed this, but it was left to the Frenchman. Right, I think that's about it. Oh, I got the handbook. Not brilliant, but adequate. Much better than the Goldie Power handbook, which was in pidgin English. Very hard to understand, but this is, you know, much better. Tells you about just about all you want to know. As I say, it's not rocket science, so we don't need anything too complicated. Right, now I think we'll move on to the program we're going to use and give you all the settings and run through all the settings and everything like that. Let's have a look at the program we're going to use in the DVD. Now, I'm going to use my two-tone program. Many of you will know about this program. It's up on the Relics forum under the Deus program section. Now, if we hit the menu button, we'll first come to discrimination. Now, that runs from 0 to 99. My two-tone program is set at 4.6. The reason for this is I set all the discrimination on my machines using a 3-inch nail, and the 3-inch nail is eliminated at around 4.6. So that's what I use. Keeping it low will help avoid target masking, and you'll get more finds close to iron if you keep it low. Now, the iron range on the Deus is 0 to 10, so what I'll never understand is some programs that are put up with a disc of 30. I mean, 10 is the end of the iron range. You made up to 30, you've got good finds dropping in there. I've had cut halves, quarters, all sorts. Don't forget that a target out of the ground would read a lot higher than that perhaps would in the ground if that was close to iron. So you know, be careful how you set the disc. 4.6 it is for me. You could start slightly higher and then reduce it as you get experienced with the machine. Now, the expert button, that brings up the choice of tones. Obviously this program is set to 2 tones. Next on the menu is sensitivity. That runs from 0 to 99, the same as the discrimination. Now, my two-tone program uses the sense at 86. This does give you some chirping, you know, when you're in the field. I like to hear the machine talking to me, but if you don't, then obviously you can reduce that. But one little trick I'd tell you here, if you have to reduce it, say to 80 or below, then I would go into the expert mode, and you'll find the TX power there for this program set to 3. Well, then I'd reduce that to 2, then go back to the sensitivity and raise it up. until the machine starts to chatter, and then reduce to keep it stable. You know, you've got to be very careful. The TX power is the power the machine transmits, and the sensitivity is the gain on the received signal. Now if you try and push the sensitivity up 90-95 to get more depth, you may in fact lose depth, you know, if you're especially on bad ground. So don't think, you know, we're pumping that right up, that you've got to get more depth. That is actually the gain on the received signal, nothing to do with the power output of the machine. Now, as I said, the expert button will bring you to the TX power settings, but next on the menu is the frequencies. We've got 4 frequencies on the dias: 4, 8, 12 and 18. 18 is going to be used exclusively in the DVD for the simple reason it's found me far more fines and is far more suited to the fines that we have in the UK. I have tried the 12 and that's a decent frequency to use, but it's not a patch on the 18. For instance, the 18, if you've got a hammered penny or cut half on edge, then the 18 will find that target far better than the 12. But it's personal preference really, but the two-tone program is set to 18. Now you could make several DVDs in fact with using a different frequency on the dias, but we'll use 18 for this particular one. Now the expert mode does give you a frequency shift, which means if you've got electric fence or overhead power cables, you can, you know, shift the frequency slightly either way, try and get rid of interference. And of course the other thing is, if you've got a mate with you using the dias, you can shift the frequency to stop interference between you. Right, moving on, we've now got iron volume. This runs 0 to 5. My program is set to 3. You really got to set this to your ears, you know. If you've got good ears you could drop it, if you've got bad ears raise it. This only affects the volume of the low tone, doesn't affect the high tone at all, so set it to suit your ears and you'll be well away. Now if there's a lot of iron around and you want to give your ears a rest, you could set the iron volume to 0. This in effect turns off, so you won't hear any more low tones. You may hear some spits and cracks as you go over the medium sort of sized iron, but that will cut out the low tone. I didn't notice any difference in performance between setting it on 0 or 3. Personally I like it on 3 to hear the iron. Right, now move on again. Come to reactivity. We actually call it recovery speed in this country, but seems the French like to call it reactivity. This is the setting between 1 and 5. My program uses 2. The reason for that is that I used to use the Golmex Power, you know, the tried and tested Golmex Power. We all know what a great machine that is, and that's got the recovery speed the equivalent to 2 on the dias, so that's plenty quick enough for me. I'd only think of raising it to 3 if there was a load of iron, and I mean a lot of iron on site. You know, I'd switch it to 3 then, or perhaps even go to 4. Personal choice again. Now if you're looking for depth with this program, then you'd want to lower the recovery speed. Lowering the recovery speed helps with depth. Now the expert brings up silencer. This is a little gadget that will silence the spits and cracks from near surface iron. I have mine on 1. The more you up that, it does reduce the recovery speed. 1 is plenty for me. You could try 2, you know, until you get used to the machine. But one is the one that is used in the two-tone program. Next on the menu we got audio response. This boosts the audio of the smaller, deeper fines. You ought to be careful of this though, because that also boosts the ground and circuit noise. So set it carefully, you know, for best results. Now my program is set to 3. Move it to 4 if you're on quiet ground. I do use mine on 4 more and more often now, and I'll probably change the program on the Regs forum. You know, change the audio response setting to 4 from 3. Now pressing the expert button brings up the overload setting. This is on default 1, and that's where I leave it. I don't interfere with that one at all. Now moving along, we come to the notch. Now you'd very rarely use that in the UK on farmland and such stuff, you know. The only time you may think of using it is if you've got a problem with coke, because if you've got a problem with coke and you use the discriminator, you're going to lose a lot of fines, because you'd have a setting of about 40 to get rid of all the coke, and if you put that setting in to discriminate out, you're going to lose a lot of fines, especially the ones near iron. But that is a way of doing it with the notch. You could leave the discriminated 4.6, and then you could use a window on the notch to get rid of the coke. What you'd have to do really is take a notebook in the field. When you get a bit of coke, you know, put the number down in your notebook. When you get home, notch out all those numbers that the coke has come in at, and you'll have a nice little coke program. Now if we went to expert, that just gives you the notch setup. I think it's better you use the you know, the manual to just set it up, rather than me running on for 20 minutes trying to tell you how to do it. Right, now then, we go back to the main menu now, and if we hit the GB ground balance button, you'll find 4 choices: manual, pumping, tracking and beach. Now obviously the most accurate by a long way is tracking. The machine will actually keep the machine, you know, tracking within one number of the ground reading. Obviously if you use the control, you know, on the stem, you can see the ground number and the tracking number, and they should always be within one of each other. Now if you find there's a big difference between them, the tracking is probably tracking into iron. Now if you've got a lot of iron, that may pay to go to manual. Now what I would do there is I would find a piece of clean ground, pump the machine to get a number, a ground reading number, then I would switch back to manual, put that number in, add 2 digits, which will make it slightly more sensitive, and away you go. But right, we'll put all these settings up at the end of this section, and then we'll move on and do a few tests with the Deus. Now you may have seen my nail test done on the GMP. On the Relics forum we've got some videos of the nail test we did on that machine, and we're going to do the same thing on the Deus. We've got the 2-tone program in, and here are the items we're going to use. We've got a 3-inch nail, we've got a full short cross hammered, we've got a cut half, rather small one that, and the cut quarters, one of the smaller ones as well. Now with the scrim set up at 4.6, it gets rid of the nail, it gives a low tone on the nail. Now then, we put the hammered penny behind the nail. See, good cracking signal that. Now the cut half, again behind the nail. Bit scratchy, but definite positive signal. And then the tiny cut quarter, again right behind the nail. They're again scratchy, but you know, that's a positive signal. You dig that out. Right, now some people use the scrim as high as 30, and I'm just going to whip this up to 30 to show what happens. Just bear with me while I go around the menu. There we go. I don't know any jokes, so I tell you one or two while I'm waiting. That's very slow going round. 46. Oh, we want that. We want to go down. There you go, 30. Now then, here's the nail. Obviously that's going to be eliminated at that height setting. No problem. Now let's put the cut or the full hammered behind the nail. You see that wouldn't even get the full hammered. So there's no use trying the 1/2 and the 1/4, but just to show that if these coins are in the ground away from iron, it would still pick them up. The problem is only when they're close to iron. Right, now we've got a few more tests we're going to do, but we've got to go in the field to do them. We've got to do a depth test in ground and a few other tests, so we'll go and set that up ready for the next section. Let's just check out the recovery speed of the Deus, or reactivity as they call it in France. I've got a 3-inch nail, and just to show that that is rejected, 4.6 on the discrimination. Right, now what we'll do, we'll put a full hammered penny within a millimetre of the nail and then check again. Clear, strong signal, no problem at all. Now let's just try adding another nail. Try again. As you can see, no problem. Anyone would dig that signal. Now I have noticed some people say if you have the coin and the nails in a horizontal position like that, you wouldn't be able to pick that coin up. No machine would pick that coin up. Well, if you've got the thing set up right, I'll show you how you can pick it up. Now, you're not picking the coin up, but you're picking the double bleep on the nails. At 4.6 you'll get that on nails, so that would alert you there's something there. So what you do, you'd go 90 degrees and get the coin clean as a whistle. So don't believe you can't pick up a coin between 2 horizontal nails, because you can. Just get the double signal, and as I say, recheck at 90 degrees. No problem at all. Now we've just dug a 10-inch hole. We're going to try depth test with the Deus, see what that can do. It's 10 inches down. Now we're going to use a short cross, full flan hammered, as you'll see there, just so you can see the depth. Now just to show there's no trickery, we'll take the stick out. You can see nothing in the hole. Right, now we'll pop the hammer in. There we go, make sure it's flat. We're getting a little bit of chatter because there's some power lines not too far away. Fill the hole in. Really sticky, had a lot of rain here. Now it's much more difficult for a machine to pick a coin up in loose soil than it is in compact soil. So this is a real good test for the Deus. Right. As you can hear, it's faint, but it's a good solid signal on a hammered penny at 10 inches. I think that would get that slightly deeper with that sort of signal. Right, now what we're going to do, we're going to switch coils. We're going to put the 13x11 on and do that exact same test. So I'll see you in a second. We've now put the 13x11 head on. The coin we buried just a few minutes ago is still in there at 10 inches. Now let's see what difference it makes using the big head. Now, as you can hear, that's a stronger signal. Now as we raise, you're getting about an inch. So you can see there's not too much difference between the 9-inch and the 13x11, about an inch, but you do definitely get a louder signal on the larger head. That is at 10 inches, and you know, I've used a hell of a lot of machines and I can name several that wouldn't pick that hammered up at 10 inches. Now what we'd like to do now is we'll dig out the hammered and we'll put an old penny in there and just see if that makes any difference between the two heads. Now after testing the Deus on a hammered penny. We're now going to use a higher conductive coin. It's Edward VII 1907 copper penny. Now we've got the hole this time at 12 inches, as you can see. Now I'll just go down here to show you the measurement of the coin we're going to use. As I say, it's an Edward VII copper penny at 12 inches. Now, just to prove there's nothing in the hole, we've got the Garrett probe, and as you can see, it's turned on all around the hole. There's no little tricks, nothing buried in the bottom. This does happen on some of the vids on YouTube, but that's just to prove that there's nothing in there. So we put the coin in the centre, make sure it's flat, because there's no machine got to get that if it's sitting on edge at that depth. Right, the probe out of the way. Now the machine is set up exactly as I'm using it in the field. We're on tracking, so we'll just give it a run over the ground to get the tracking set. Now some people, when they do depth tests, don't bother with this, but that makes a big difference. As you can see, it gets it okay with no soil. Now we're going to fill it in. It's like a bog here. There's so much rain. The chirping you can hear from the machine at the moment is from the power lines just to my left there. Right, make sure that's level. And you can see that's like a pudding. Right, again, let's get the brown balance to lock onto the ground. As you can hear, it's faint, but a definite signal on that copper penny at 12 inches. Now I've used a lot of machines, and I can assure you there's plenty of those that wouldn't pick that coin up. Now what we're going to do, we're going to switch to the large head and see if that makes any difference. I'm going to just turn this one off. You know, otherwise we'll get people saying they're picking up interference. Now we'll just get the big boy. Now I've got to put this control in my pocket because it's picking up the sounds from the microphone. Well, the microphone's picking up the sounds from that. Right, again, let's get the ground balance to lock onto the ground. As you can see, there's really no difference. It's picking it up very faintly. That is a solid two-way signal. Now just do the ground again. That doesn't make a big difference if the ground is set correctly, and this is set up on tracking on the 2-tone program which we use in field. You see it picks it up, but if you raise it, well, you might get an inch. I was always told this big coil was for the 4 kilohertz frequency, and I think that is correct. They will release 11-inch coils soon, and I think you'll find that will make a couple of 2.5 inches difference to the depth when that comes out. But there we go, that's on the copper penny. Now while we're here doing the Deus tests, let's just have a look at the coil. This is the 9-inch stock coil from the Deus. Brilliant little coil this. Now if we just pull the coil cover off, now as you'll see in the picture-in-picture, there one side, this is where the battery compartment is, and you'll see a little recess all the way around. That's where you cut the section out to get to the battery. Now on the Relics forum you'll find a video from YouTube which shows you how to change your own battery. It's got all the things you need, you know, the blade, the glue, everything. So you can change your own battery, but of course you can send this back to be changed, you know, by the experts if you're not too good at DIY. Now the other side, we've got 2 relays in here. The yellow coloured boxes are relays for the frequency. Yeah, that keeps the coil optimized when you change frequencies. In fact, if you hold the coil sort of near your ear and then change frequency, you'll hear the relays working. There's also a PCB in here. All the signals are processed by the coil before being sent to the control box. So there's a PCB which carries all the gear on there. Well, that's the coil. Now we're sort of coming towards the best bit. You know, we're just got to now go and have a look at the site, just show you the site we've got to be detecting on, and it's getting near time to, you know, get the detector working on the field and see what we can pull out. Well, what do you reckon to this view then? This field here is the one we're going to be detecting on. If you like to come through here, we'll just have a quick look. As you can see, that's down to stubble at the moment. It's also frozen. Now, if you sort of pan to the left here, you'll see a boundary hedge. The other side of this hedge is where we filmed the GMP DVD. There's also power lines down here which could cause a problem when we're this side of the field. Now if you pan round, you'll see across the centre the valley. I think that's the most interesting part, and of course we've got the church the other end. I think going by the other side of the hedge here, we know roughly what we're going to find. Anything from Iron Age to modern. You know, we had a quarter stater off that one. We had medieval artifacts, Hammond coins, Roman coins. You know, you name it, we found it. This being a fresh site, that should be like taking candy from a baby. And this is the part of the, you know, the DVD that I'm looking forward to. So we'll get the gear and we'll get stuck in. Steady as we go. I don't know if you can hear the interference we're picking up. I just stopped swinging. Can you hear that? And not only have we got power lines to my left, we've got a transformer up the pole there, and that's given us big problems when we're this side of the field. I have reduced the sensitivity to 82, and the interference is bearable. You know, we can, if the good signal should crack through any warbling we're getting. I think it sounds a bit different through my headphones. That will, you know, through the microphone for the camera. You can hear the static. That's a good signal. Dear oh dear. You can hear the cracking and the static. Let's have a right, see what we got. Oh, what's this? What on earth is this? It's got segments going around with numbers on. It's a bit like a combination lock, but I can't see how that would work. Never seen one of these before. Let's have a look at that. Oh, it's very interesting, that. I think I better put that in my tin. If I haven't seen one in 40 odd years, that may be rare. That damn transformer's getting on my wick. I think we've got to move away from that. Right, I'm going out in the field more. Well, once I've got my strap on. See if we can get away from that interference. I'm just doing my usual 2-foot strip. It's pretty hard to keep this down because of the stubble. Very stiff. But you know, don't worry if you see the coil coming up at the end, we'll overlap on the way back. But I don't like to do the, you know, the big wide swing like this. You can't really control the coil. Since I turned to this method, I found far more targets, especially the smaller ones like the cut hammered. That is hard to keep the good strong signal that. Right, let's have a right. Bit deeper. It's still down there. Oh, got deepy this time. Sounds like that's the bottom of the hole. She's out. Got it. Oh, look here. What a lovely little key. Little casket key. Look at that. Cracking little find that. Another one for the tin. Alright. Hello. I don't believe it. Look here. From the same hole. That's a long, long while since I found a hole. I think it's hole, yeah. Whole crotel bell. Casket key and crotel bell out of the same hole. Would you believe it? Got a little booty that. That's got a pattern on. I don't think that'll fit in my tins. That'll have to go in the pouch. Well, I wouldn't have believed that unless I'd seen it. Better check again. I don't mind two items come from the same hole. There's less digging to do. Right. A bit of iron here as well. Lovely sunshine now. Not a bad day for January. Fair bit of iron here, not enough to up the reactivity. I'm still on 2, same as the Golmex Par. It's the same reactivity speed as the Golmex Par, plenty fast enough in my opinion. There is a fair amount of iron. That's a good signal. Now how I pinpoint, I go over the target and come back. Loudest sound between the stem and the V at the back. Oh, go. sticky, the old soil. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's a cracking find. Look at that. That looks like a belt hanger. It's got rivet holes. I just think where it went on the leather. I have seen these in books. It's dangly bits are missing. They would have been similar pattern to this, you know, hanging down. Oh, it's a shame they're broken, but that's almost complete. And I found plenty of single, what you call belt hangers, but never a treble. Well, that's a smashing find, that is. It's got three holes, you know, where that would have been riveted on the on someone's belt. Whoa! Wonder if I can get that in my tin. Never found one like that before. We had a good session so far with tins getting full. There's room for a few more hammered in there yet. Normally something that size, you know, that had been smashed by the plough, so I think it's a bit lucky we got that in, well, at least one piece, with all the hangers been smashed. I keep checking the holes now in case it's turned one hole, two targets in one hole again. Now, one of the things that newcomers do when they come into detecting is every time there's a little crack or a spit, they stop and, you know, spend minutes checking it out. You can hear all these spits and cracks, which is iron. A lot of it is small, near surface stuff. You've got to walk straight through that. You know, you'll know when you hit a good signal. It'll be a clean, sort of all the way through type signal. Unmistakable. Like that. We've got a few dog's turds beside it. I ain't got to put my feet in them. She's out. Got a coin of some kind. I've got a Roman, small Roman. Oh, that's in good nick too. Look at that. I don't know if you can see the old Emperor's head on there. You know, 9 times out of 10 they're in very poor condition, but that's a half decent little coin, that. In the tin. You do find, you know, several Roman coins around this area. But, and now we've got another signal here. Cracking signal. And that's gone down there some depths too. Oh. That's out. It's got a buckle. Oh, it's still got the pin as well. Look at that. Still got the pin intact. A Roman coin and a lovely little buckle within a foot of each other. That's what I like about this hobby, you just don't know what's coming out next. I don't mind finding some you know, decent little buckles. I was going to collect them at one stage, but I sort of gave up on it. Ah! I knew I'd step in those dog's turds. Yeah. Right. Check the holes. Slowly as we go. You can hear the iron blasting out. If you slow the speed down, sort of try and isolate it. There's a little bit of iron there, but that's good enough to dig out. She's out. Ah! Oh, what's this? Look at this. A hole in the top. Oh, that's a spoon handle. That could be a cosmetic tool, Roman. It definitely look Roman. It's got a little hole in the top there. They used to hang them on a ring. Cosmetic tools. Lovely pattern on the top. Makes a change from all those common old hammered pennies. Always fill your holes in, even on stubble or plough. Looks much neater. Right. It's very iffy, that one. You see how we're taking a inch off, that's come better, the signal's better, so we'll have it out just in case. A bit deeper. Just hold soil is heavy. That's out. Now what have we? Ah. Whatever's that? Oh, I think I know what they are. It looks like part of a pair of scissors. Well, that's very fancy. Fancy patterns on there, just look at that. Well, that ridge there, it does look like a handle of a pair of scissors. Very old scissors. There's a lovely pattern on the shank of it. Turn it over. Well, that's the first time I ever found any part of a pair of scissors. We're getting one or two firsts today. Into the tin. That was a fair depth, that's probably why that was a bit of an iffy signal. I used to imagine that was standing on end or something like that. As soon as you take a little piece off the top, you could hear the signal, you know, come better. You just had to dig it. You can see here, we're overlapping here. Here's another place we've dug out. So we're overlapping well. Plenty of iron. Sun's starting to go down. It's getting a bit chilly now. Very iffy. Now, again, there's something shallow, there's something on edge. It's a little bit deeper than I thought it was though. Oh. That's out. Ah, I think we got another hammy. Oh, that's a poor old thing. Dear, oh dear. It looks as though that's got a shield. There's possibly a Lizzie. I think it's very, very worn. But a hammy's a hammy. I should imagine that was a little deeper than I thought, so I should imagine that was on edge. You know, if they're flat like that and just under the surface, you'll get that double beep, and you'll also get it if a coin's on edge. So that was a couple 3 inches down, so I should imagine that was sitting on edge. Even when they do that, they can't get away from the dice. Sharp as a razor, especially on the 18 kilohertz. Wouldn't be as sharp, you know, if you're in 12, not on something on edge. Especially as thin as the hammered are. What we got here? Oh, I took a 1/2 inch off and it's come a little bit louder, so interesting little signal that. Right. Come on, give us another hammy. Decent one this time. I don't know whether this is the... It's a lump of lead. This old field don't like giving up 2 good finds in a row. You know, you'll get a button to turn a bit of lead and then something decent. There's iron right there as well. Damn stubble. Got a few frosts on it. Mind you, this is not wheat stubble, that's not barley stubble, that's not oat stubble. That's some kind of bird feed, and I don't know the name of it, so, you know. Perhaps you can tell me when you see it on the video. That's damn stiff. What's that? Nope. That's a cracker. I don't need to check that one at 90 degrees. Oh, that's out. Well, I can see it from here. Look at that. I think that's another room. That's a big bugger this time. There's nothing on it. That's got to be room. That's so sticky. I wish I'd have brought a bottle of water and a brush. Yeah, it's got to be a Roman, but it's just a, well, you might be able to see the head there. A very poor example. I am putting him in the tin, that ain't worth it. I'll put that on eBay, that'll make £1. Right, check hole. I tell you, as light as the dice is, I certainly my damn well will try to push that through this stubble. Right, out she comes. Phew, look at that. Look at that. Spearhead. Don't that look like a spearhead? I'm sure it's not, but yeah, it looks like one. Wonderful. You can't beat this hobby, you just don't know what you're going to dig. Nice little signal. Down a bit deeper, saying that's the centre of the hole. She's out. Oh, and another hammered. Oh, that's in poor condition as well. Look at that, you can just see the pellets. Very, very poor condition. What a shame. And another tin job. Well, overall we had several hammered, which you'd expect on a fresh site like this. But most of them are very, very worn. They must have been in circulation a hell of a long while. Right. And just check in case there's a hoard. Degrees tells you that signal was iron. Good signal. Yep, went a bit deeper than that. It's down there a fair way, this one. Be careful that we don't chop through anything. That's out. Oh, look at that. Saxon again. You can see two beady eyes. Got a rather high forehead. Yeah, all these pieces of Saxon, we can nearly make a complete brooch. Always fragments, never the real whole thing. That's what we need. We've hitched up the 13 by 11 coil this morning. The stubble is a bit sort of stiff. We're getting a bit of interference as well from the power lines on the left. Can't get away from those damn things. Stubble's been flattened here, but you know, in place that's stiff as hell. That's a good signal both ways. Normally I'll, with the big coil, I'll go forward until you get the signal, and then that's usually under the XP badge, but not always, depends what it is. Pinpoint is only accurate on a coin-sized target that's flat in the ground anyway. Right, now what have we? Oh, we got a interesting looking button here. That's fairly old looking at the shank. Just get them up there, right? There we go. I don't mind a nice button or two. The trouble is the ones I find never got a pattern on. Some that are put on the relics for them are, you know, got some brilliant designs on them. Poor old Rog, you only get the plain ones. Just get you all feeling sorry for me. Piece of iron there. We've got the 13 by 11 coil on. As you saw from the tests we did, that it'll only get about an extra inch, but it does make the smaller, deeper fines, you know, much louder. This stubble is fairly stiff. Some of the iron is breaking through the discriminator, but if you run over it again, you know, the discriminator will squeeze it out. What's that? I thought that was a cartridge case. Right, let's have a right. Oh, very stony. She's out. Sounds like iron. Now there you are. Now this is a good demonstration. Every detector will pick up iron, you know, where there's a hole. And that's the reason that sounded good. I'm glad I found that, because that does demonstrate, you know, any iron with holes in will be picked up by any machine. I had that happen with most of the machines I've used. Bit of iron, don't worry about it. Keeps you busy while you're waiting for the good stuff. Now we're still chugging along. Find in some places the Double's very, very stiff. Another place that just gives way. Ah. Oh no, what's this? No. Right. That's something very shallow. Let me take the top off. Yep. Ah, what have we here? I think that's a mount of some kind. See that? It's got a hole through. I just turn it over. I'm not quite sure about that. I don't think that would be a button. It looks like a mount. Well, yeah. Better than a piece of lead. The trouble with the coil, it keeps moving, you know. I'm going to drill that out one of these times. Stupid little bolts. And even with the top hat gadget on, you know, which was supposed to stop that, that doesn't really stop it. Especially when you're going through stiff stubble. You can hear some of the iron breaking through the scrim, like that. You go back over and it turns to an iron tone. Signal breaks up. That's just near surface iron. Once you use this machine for a time, that's the pure instinct as to what to dig. A strange one. Breaking up one way, which indicates iron, but we'll have it out and see. Could be something close to iron. It's not easy to pinpoint with this large coil. Could be in the side of the hole, I suppose. Ah. Hang on, I can see something. What have we? Ah. Well, that's worn. Can't even see anything on it. It's obviously a halfpenny. Oh, we've got something else. That might be the piece of iron what gave the strange signal one way. We can get it out. Yeah, it's definitely iron. Ah, there we are. That's how good the old Deus is. So, really large, square nail. And when we first got that signal, that did indicate one way that there was some iron, but the other way was so good you've got to dig. So we got a halfpenny and a medieval nail. I think the halfpenny is one of the Georges, one of the earlier ones. Oh, grounders, that's not too bad, that's a bit sticky. Haven't had any real rain for a day or two now. Right. Bit more iron around this area, good sign. signal. What have we got? Oh, look at this. Oh, got a key. Look at that. So that's medieval. Although could be late Saxon, they usually short keys, whereas medieval are longer. Oh, look at that little booty, that. Oh, that's made today, that is. I've got to put that in my special tin. Ooh. It's amazing really when you come into the iron, that's when you expect to get the finds. Where it's quiet you might as well not bother. Right, get the strap on. Been pretty quiet down this run. A bit of iron there. I'd like to hear more iron. The more iron there is, the more finds. Oh, that's a cracking signal, that one. Let's see what we got. A bit deeper. Still there, probably in the side of the hole. No, it's insisting down the middle. She's out. What have we? Hang on, it's a probe job. Oh, what have we got here? That looks like a bag seal. Look at that. Lovely bag seal. Old Stu will be interested in that. Nice find. I better put that in my tin. Lovely Saxon, well, we think that's a Saxon key and a bag seal. Fill your holes in, everyone. There we go again. Get a bit nippy now. Good signal, both ways. Yeah, I can see it. Oh yeah, I think got a room in here. Yep. No idea who he is. Don't know if you can zoom in on that. I think you can see the bust. That was close, wasn't it? Didn't think the whole camera had such a good zoom. Where's my special tin? Getting one or two little pieces in here now. That's a nice little room, and that looks in half decent nick. Makes a change on my sights. I keep carrying this damn probe about with me, hardly ever use it. Right, let's just check back a bit, just in case there's a hoard. Hello. Scattered hoard perhaps? Probably near the surface there somewhere. Well, talking about the probe, we'll have it out. Oh, I dropped the damn thing. Oh, it's a primer out of a 12 bore cartridge, tiny. I didn't think we'd have two good finds on the trot. Right, I'm all right. What have we? We've got it. Oh, hammy! Looks like a, well, could be a halfpenny. Damaged as usual. I don't know, you can zoom up on the back. It's got the, you can see the pellets fairly clearly. I don't know whether it's a farm or a halfpenny. That might straighten out fairly well. Pardon?
Looks like it,
Yeah, I can't see nothing on the other side. That'll be straightened out. Special tin. Number one find for the day, or evening should I say. Not too deep, 4 or 5 inches. Right. Just check there's not a hoard. Good signal. Ah, we got a deeper one. Try the side wall here, maybe on the side. Yep. We've got it. That's a nice place to. Ah. Oh, look at that, top of a Saxon brooch. Yeah, you can see the catch plate there. Don't know if I can show you that. What a shame that's not whole. Got a nice piece of saxon that. That's been through the power harrow or something. Again, that was good depth, although that was in the side of the hole. Right, that's a nice little find that. Let's find a whole one. Hello, good signal. Right, we had a bit of a van run. Let's see what we got this time. Ah, I think we got hammered. Oh yeah, looks like old Henry. Hang on. Look at that. Turn it over. Got some bloody good nick, but it's got a little bit of a nick in that side there. Well, what a shame. It's in top condition, that one. Special tin job. The old tin hasn't been very busy over the last hour, but things are looked up now. Right. Just check for a hoard. No, notice luck. Right. Fair bit of iron here. Always a good sign, as we said before. Another good one. Oh, it's disappeared. Got thrown out here somewhere. Let's have a look. Let's have the probe out. Well, I never look at that. We've got another hammered. Christ, it's clipped. Appears to have a rose on it, but look at that. Tiny, tiny little thing. That's two within 10 yards. Christ. Lovely. The old tin's getting real busy now. Wow, that's better. Get the old strap back on. Right, come on, let's have another one. Almost iron the old coil on the floor on this under these conditions. Bit awkward here because we're in a tramway. Cracker, that was clear as a bell. This has got to be a hammy. I right? I think. Well, that's either a very small token or one of those rose farthings. I don't think you can see much on it if you zoom in. I'd much rather had hammered silver. I will put that in my tin. I thought for a minute that was a rose farthing, but I'm told that's a token. Well, we ain't done too bad so far. Hammy, top of a Saxon brooch. Now a nice little token. What would be nice is a Saxon coin. They're not too far away from the largest Saxon burial ground in the UK. So they were around this area in great numbers. But I never found many Saxon coins. Ah, look there. Another good sign. Clay pipe stem. There the old farm workers puffing away, dropping the hammered. Good sign that, along with the oyster shells we found, which we think has something to do with the Romans, but we're not sure. There's only so much a man can know. We know they're good signs. We've already had 2 hammered off here in a couple of sessions, so there should be plenty more to come. Very big field, you know, it's just a matter of finding out where the hot spots are. I don't think the farmer's the sort of one that will let you on when they're seeded, so you have to do our best as it is. As soon as the plough comes on, the drill will be straight behind. We'll try this one. Iffy. Sounds better now it's out. A bit sticky still. Oh, it's a nice little leather mount, you know, off a belt or something. Harness perhaps. Nice little. Where's he gone? And you just turn it over, you'll see the stud. Better than a piece of lead. Some of this chittering is small iron. You know, it doesn't give a low tone, it just gives a bit of a chatter. Interesting, softer Usually means deeper. I've only got the audio response on 2. Otherwise it starts distorting the signal, and that does give a smoother, softer signal on depth, something that's deep. And of course, as soon as it's near the surface, you get a cracking signal. Another piece of Saxon brooch. Again, you can see where the catch plate was. I'll turn it over. You can see that Saxon shape. Well, bits and pieces. Why not a whole one? I've got to sue that farmer. His pa harrow. Smashing all my heritage up. I say my heritage because if I find it, that's mine. And the farmers, of course. Well, that's the other way round, really. I mean, that's the farmers, but he kindly shares half with me. Another one was going to be a bugger to find. About a tiny piece of coke. Oh, I think we got a silver thimble. Yeah, I think that's a silver thimble. Yeah, it was damaged, but
Is there any naked mark on it? On the rim?
no, there might be something on the centre there. Yeah, there's a mark of some kind, but that's been split. I think that's a child's thimble. Oh, it's a shame that's damaged. Don't often find silver ones. It's all the same nowadays, everything's damaged. Ever since those downright power harrows, became popular. Iron just here. Signal just this side of it. Either that or that's the edge of the iron. That's out. No, that's a good target. Piece of lead. It shaped itself into a circle, so that fooled me into thinking that was a ring. And it's just another piece of lead. You've got to put up all this rubbish just to get one good target. I've got to have a good one in a minute. I can feel it in the water. It's very shallow. Come on. Ah, hammered. Lizzie, is it a Lizzie? Let me turn it this way. Yep, there's a Lizzie. Got the rose behind the head and the shield. I'll just give the cameraman that to check. That's dry, so that's right near the surface. First hammy.
Lizzie Penny.
Yippee! Yeah, penny. As I've said before, instant ID. It can get correct within 100 years. Because I'm useless at IDing the coins. That's in my special box. Right. Yeah, that was that. The coin is actually dry, so it's just on the surface, or just under. I couldn't see it on the surface, but it's obviously just under. Right. That was right beside the line, right over the... Oh. That's how good the old dance is. Good signal there. Solid each way. I think I slipped down the hole a bit. We got it. Huh? Oh, look at this. Whatever is it? Got a rivet or something in the top, and there's a nice piece of gilding left along there. Look at that. No idea what it is. Things are looking up. It's obviously broken off a larger object. I think I better put that in my tin. Right, here we are. I put it in the right pocket, otherwise it'll fall out. We got it. Huh? Oh, look at this. Tiny little brooch. At least I think it is. Yeah, you can see the catch plate on the back. Oh, that's Roman. Look at that. If I turn it over, you can see the catch plate. There's a little bit of red enamel still left on the top. It looks like green, red and green. Shows you what this hobby's like. Little piece of lead 1 second and a nice look what looks like a Roman brooch the next. Here, that's iron. Not a very good signal, but it's nice better. Right, we've got it. Just a piece of scrap bronze. Usual rubbish. That's better. We got it. Oh, look at this gold! Look at this. Come in here. Whoa. That looks like a modern band. Yeah, it's hallmark. I think that's modern. There are people who walk their dogs on this field, so we'll have to ask around, see if anyone lost one. I'm pretty sure that's modern. Very thin. Cracking signal. About 5 inches down. Brilliant. I ain't seen the glint of gold for months. Let's perk things up a bit. Good signal. Jumping a bit deep this time. Oh, that's well down. Still down there. Appears to have dropped down the bottom of the hole. We're down here over a foot now. Oh, that's wet. Ah, what have we this time? Oh, look at this. Part of a Saxon brooch. Look at the bottom half. There's the catch plate. That was a fairly large brooch, so look at that. Brilliant. So you can see the catch plate there. That's a lovely find. Shame that's not whole, but there we go. Power will smash everything to pieces. I think I'll try and get that in my tin. What about that gold ring? Part of a Saxon brooch. All within 20 yards. I tell you what though, this bolts on this coil are beginning to annoy me. It keeps flopping. I think they need one of my drill out jobs and some White's bolts. Why these manufacturers don't learn to put more substantial bolts in the coils, I do not know. Especially for a monster coil like this. Just plain daft. Double signal. Right near the surface. We got it. Come on, give us something decent. Ah, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, look here, we got a hammy. Oh, you can't see the head on it. That's on the reverse. So that's a short cross. That's better. Just a slight bend, but I think the bend on it is what kept the reverse looking so good. But, very little you can see on that side. Cracking fine though. Whoop. Yeah, he lost a lot back on the grind. Right now, just to finish off the DVD, I thought you might like to see all the non-ferrous rubbish that we got while we were filming the DVD. Now if you'd like to come in here, we'll have a look. Oyster shells, very interesting. We had plenty of Roman bronze off the field, so that's a good sign. Medieval, clay pipe stems. We've got I think this is a label off some farm machinery, Coleman and Glendenning of Norwich. We found several of those plates. We got this, which you call the spearhead, but I think that's a top off a fence, you know, rather than that. And we got the chain. The reason the machine picked this up was because of the holes in the chain. Got the watch chain. Shame they want a watch on the end, but there you go. Buttons by the dozen. Plenty of little Roman grots still in here. In fact, that's a half decent one, that can go there. Old pennies, 2p piece. We've got everything you can imagine. Buckles, some kind of plug. Some of these finds are so small, you know, you can hardly find damn things, even in this, you know, the muck in here, and it's hard to find them. Tiny little thing like that, for instance. You seen anything as small as that? Picked up easily by the dice. Now across this side, this is just some of the good finds we had out. We got some crotel bells here, fragments, Saxon brooch. Just a shame we didn't find a whole one for the DVD. Most of the hammered are very, very worn for some reason. Very unusual, you know. You normally get several decent ones, but they're so worn, some of them. We've got a fair heap of room in here. This is just part of them. We've got plenty more. Little casket keys. The belt hanger, which I thought was brilliant. That's the first one I ever found of those. Well, a treble one anyway. I found the single ones. That key, we're still not sure, you know, whether that's medieval or Saxon. We'll try and find out. A little combination lock. Never seen one of those before. I don't know really what that dates to. I think that's Tudor, but we'll check that out. A little swivel, very interesting again. We've still got to clean a lot of the finds. We've got plenty of buckles, thimbles, all the usual stuff. Anyway, that gives you an idea of 80 to 90 yards detecting, you know, the rubbish. That's about half the good stuff. Oh, we got the gold ring there, by the way, and a silver spoon. Gold ring being the best find, although when I pulled it out I thought that was a posy ring. I never found one, but that's just an ordinary wedding band which someone has lost on there. They do walk dogs on the field, and I think someone had lost the wedding ring. I still haven't made any inquiries, they went to find the owner, but anyway, that's there. Now, before we go, XP should bring out an update to the DAS, you know, in the next few weeks. We were going to hold back on the DVD until the update can come out, so we can include any features that they bring out in the new version, which would be version 3. But that could be weeks away, so we're carried on, going to finish the DVD. Now, any extra settings, you know, that the update puts on the DAS, we'll include that on the forum in my two-tone program. You'll find it in the DAS program section. And you know, once this update comes out, if there's any extra settings, then I'll put them on the forum for people to see. Anyway, just finally say, keep everything simple, keep your program simple, and you'll find plenty. You know, it's not rocket science finding a few old coins and artifacts, so keep everything simple, and you'll find plenty of finds. So I'll see you on the forum. If you've got any questions, just PM me on the Roger Stokes forum, and I'll try and help you out. So see you later. I think we got the mains cable from the national grid. 2 core. I think we better leave. I don't know. I was going to say leave it. I'll see if I can chop it through. Probably runs up down the other end of the field. Nope. Bugger. It's like trying to kill a bloody eel. I'll have to stay there. I ain't got a knife on me. Does the cameraman like to bite through it? Now the field we're going to detect on for the DVD is just the other side of the hedge here. Now if you come with me, well, we'll just have a look. Yeah, he's just wet. Thing. Oh. That's it. Injured. Oh, over top of you. What? Look at them ducks, boy. Are you going? Right. No, I can't start that highway home and stuff. Hello there, I'm Roger from the Rogers Relics. Hello there. No, I can't do it. I ain't done this for so long. Hello there, I'm Roger from the Roger. No, I can't. Hello, hello. Hi. Hello, I'm Roger from the Rogers Relics detecting site.
Do it again. Let's go straight into it.
Do I know what I'm going to say next now? I forgot. Hello there, I'm Roger from the Rogers Relics Detecting Forum. We're here to make the Mighty Deus DVD. Firstly, can I...
We're here to make what? They bought it, they're watching it.
Hello, I'm Roger from the Rogers Relics Detecting site. We're here because we're making a DVD about the Mighty Deus. I always call it Deus, but that's Deus.
Stop. Go.
Hello there, I'm Roger from the Rogers Relics Detecting site. Thank you for buying the DVD. I hope you enjoy it. Now we're just going to show the Deus, the bits and pieces that comes with it. The Mighty Deus, I should say. Well, as you can see, the field has now been ploughed, so we really got a fresh site here now, and we're going to give it another go. We're going to go this way because I don't know why we've got to go this way, but we're I don't know if you can hear the interference we're picking up here if I stop swinging. I don't know if you can hear that. That's well, we've not only got power lines on the left, or to my left, we've also got that I don't know what you call it.